Hi, welcome to the Carnivore Stories podcast with me, Alyssa Grubner. The carnivore way of eating completely transformed my life, and it's stories just like the ones you'll hear on this podcast that kept me going every step of the way. I hope you're ready to hear an inspirational carnivore story. I know I am, but first, let me tell you about the Meat-tastic t-shirts I have for sale on my spring store. It's a great opportunity for you to become a walking billboard if that's what you're into. And it's a great opportunity for you to support your new favorite podcast. You can find a link to the spring store in my bio on Instagram at Meat, M-E-A-T, Mrs. M-R-S, Grubs, G-R-U-B-S. I'll also put a link to the store in this video's description on YouTube. So check it out and get some carnivore swag.
Welcome to episode 37 of the Carnivore Stories podcast. Today, I'm joined by 39-year-old Claire Cieslar from France. She's a mom and the host of the Beyond the Scale True Healing Show. Welcome to the show, Claire.
Hello, thank you for having me on.
Yes, I'm super excited to have you on again. We tried to record this before, but believe me, I did not hit the record button. It's never happening again, I swear. Okay, well, Claire, can you tell everyone about what brought you to carnivore and when was that?
So my carnivore journey started a year and a half ago. I've been struggling with mental illness and eating disorder for 30 years, almost 3 decades. And I didn't know how to go out of it. And in beginning of 2021, I started looking for a diet that could help me being out of the eating disorder way. And I found about ketogenic diet. And I was reading a lot about it, and it seems that it was accurate for me because the ketogenic point would have been helping with my mental health, and we would have helped with the depression behavior, the anxiety, and all this kind of mental disorder. But ketogenic diet was all about counting macros, and I've been counting calories for 3 decades. I was restricting as crazy, and so I didn't want to go from one tracking calories to the track of the macros. So I was looking for this, but it was not what was good for me. And I found out about carnivore that was mostly the same as ketogenic diet, but without the vegetables and the nuts. And it was not about tracking. So I was thinking that it could have been good for me, but I was still really sick, and so I gave a try to carnivore on April 2021, but I made it with the wrong way, and I started eating only lean fish and lean meat, and I was doing almost rabbit starvation to myself, and I didn't have any positive effect that I was expecting. And in July 2021, I decided that it was time to react and to heal for real and to stop having any restricting behavior. And I jumped into the very high-fat carnivore diet, and I never went back.
Awesome. Wow. Okay. So when you first attempted carnivore in April 2021 and you were just doing the lean protein, were you afraid of the fat?
I was totally scared of the fat. And, I haven't been eating fat for, I would say more than 20 years. And so putting back the fat on the diet was, for me, almost impossible at this time. But, when you don't have any carbs and you don't have any fat, you don't have any energy. And so you need to choose, and either you want to go with carbs, either you want to go with fat, but you need to choose one of them. And it's what I've done in July.
Okay. Was there something that changed your mind, that like a turning point where you said, okay, I don't need to fear the fat anymore? Was there something that influenced you to change your mind about the fat?
No, I really wanted to try to recover. At this time, I was on holiday with my son and we went to the beach, and I was not able to go and swim with my son just because I was freezing cold. And I was like, come on, you're here. It's really hot outside. The water is really warm and you're not able to go inside the sea and swim with your son, with your nieces. It was just like, oh, come on, something has to happen. Something has to change. And at this point, I say to myself, I have nothing to lose about trying.
Mm-hmm.
So I have been restricting for 3 decades, and I will be always able to go back to restriction if I want. So just try to go with the carnivore, with the high fat, and look what's happened. And
Mm-hmm.
when you start healing and when you start eating the fat, you cannot reverse, you cannot step back. You just have to keep going because you're feeling so good.
Yeah. That the benefits, those initial benefits definitely keep a lot of people going in the beginning. Did you have any issues adapting to taking in so much fat all of a sudden?
That was really the most surprising stuff ever for me. It's that I didn't have a lot of issues. I didn't have a strong keto flu, or I didn't have the headache. I didn't have the loss of energy. The only thing that was really annoying was the bad breath. Honestly, I was really having a very, very bad breath.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, how were you able to overcome that?
It was COVID time. Everyone was wearing a mask. So the only one being able to smell it was me. And so it was not too difficult to handle. And, after 3 weeks, it was all gone. So, yeah, I think it lasts for a couple of weeks. What's a couple of weeks for years of happiness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then when you started eating the high fat, what were you eating? What were you eating in a day in the very beginning?
I was really starving. My body was really starving and I was really underweight. It's something that people has to understand, that I was really, really underweight. Even if I already gained since my lowest point, something like 20 pounds, I was still really, really underweight. I was still very unnourished. And so when I started eating the meat and the fat, my body was craving for them. And I just needed to eat constantly. But because, it's difficult to eat a lot of calories when you start this kind of diet. What I figured out, that it was really easy for me to handle a lot of ground beef, fatty ground beef, because you don't have to chew a lot. You can just keep eating and eating and eating. I was drinking raw yolks a lot, and I think my body was asking for the nutrients that are in the yolks. And for the fat, my main source of fat was butter. I was eating sticks and sticks of butter. I was not able to stop eating the butter. That was mainly my intake for the first months.
Okay. And now you're about a year and a half in. Has what you eat changed at all, or are you still eating about the same?
Yeah. My way of eating has been changing a lot through the months. Even if when I started, I was doing a lot of ground beef. Then after a couple of months, I was doing more variety, like more pork, more fatty fish, and I was still keeping the butter like in very high level. I overdone on yolks. I was eating too many eggs. And so at one point my body said stop, but I was eating a lot. So like around 20, 30 yolks a day. And at one point my body said no more eggs. And I was not able to eat eggs for around 4 months. Now I'm able to have sometimes like a couple of yolks, but not too much. And okay, now actually I'm doing the lion diet for January, and I will keep doing for at least one additional month, I'm thinking. But it just like an experiment. But what I will say is that now I switched from butter to beef fat mostly. I prefer the tallow and the suet, and sometimes pork fat like lard, better than butter. And I'm still eating very, very high amount of fat every single day. And what else? Yeah, I'm doing this experiment with the lion diet, and the first thing I will introduce after this will be the fatty fish, because currently when I'm looking at salmon or salmon raw picture on the web, I'm starting craving them. So I think my body needs DHA and omega-3. So yeah, I am really, really intuitive with my body. So if my body is asking for protein, I give a lot of protein. If my body is asking for a lot of fat, I give a lot of fat. Yeah, I'm already listening to my body, to my hunger cues. Your body won't lie to you. Mm-hmm. And as I'm French, I'm doing as well a lot of organs. And for the organs, it's the same. Sometimes I'm craving liver, and so I'm eating liver, and then I don't crave liver for 2 months, so I don't eat liver. And I do this with all the organs.
Awesome. So you're able to really listen to what your body's saying, eat carnivore intuitively, and with your background, 30 years of eating disorder, you weren't listening to your body at all, were you?
I was not listening to my body, but worse, I was trying to hide my hunger cues. Yeah. So each time I was hungry, I was trying to fill myself with uncaloric and unnutrient-dense food, as diet sodas, crappy konjac stuff, a lot of green vegetables, just to feel full, but not to feel, not to feel the hunger, but not to give the calories to my body. Mm-hmm. So it changed totally, because with carnivore, and more particularly with high fat, the amount of food, the volume of the food is not very big, but it's really dense. And so I went from eating tons of useless food to a smaller amount of very high dense food.
Yeah. And do you feel like that coming to carnivore allowed you to finally listen to your body? Was it something you were wanting to do and you just didn't have the ability before coming to carnivore, or carnivore gave you the confidence to finally listen to the needs?
Carnivore gave me the confidence, and I've been nourished artificially in the past, when I was totally nourished with refeeding solutions and stuff like this. And this was terrible for my body, because my body was already in pain while refeeding. And so my brain was telling me, like, you see, you restrict, you feel not really good, but you don't feel bad. And if you're doing the refeeding stuff, you're feeling really worse. So I had edemas, I had a lot of pain while refeeding. When I started doing carnivore, my body was singing and dancing. It was really, really happy. I didn't have any pain. I was able to eat all this food, and so my brain was telling to myself, keep going, keep eating, just keep eating, because it's the food that you're giving to your body is the good one. And since I have starting feeling this, that it was the right food for the nourishment, I was not scared about eating when I was hungry, and that has been the main benefits. So each time I'm hungry, I'm going to my fridge and I eat meat.
Yes. So carnivore can be an isolating way of eating, but also I think having an eating disorder can be even more isolating in social settings. How has your social life changed since becoming carnivore?
It changed a lot. When I was restricting and I was really underweight, I was totally afraid about the way that the people were looking at me. So I was never going out. I didn't want the people to see the change when I was losing weight. I didn't want people to see that I was losing weight, and I didn't want people to have a look at my body and everything. So I stopped socializing completely. And being carnivore, first, it's easy to eat carnivore everywhere. when I'm eating outside, it's not the perfect carnivore, the optimal carnivore I would like to eat. It's not the same as I'm eating at home, but anyway, you can eat carnivore food everywhere. So it's not a barrier for socialization. And because I'm so much happier now, it's such easier to go and socialize. And yeah, now I have friends. I have carnivore friends, but I have as well vegan friends. And we even have fun when we go to the restaurant together because they are eating the vegetables and I'm eating the meat. And easy. So yeah, I think carnivore helped me a lot to socialize, even if it can be strange. But compared to the mental illness and the eating disorder, carnivore is not restrictive.
Awesome. And how about your family? I'm sure your family has seen a big change in you, that you're not struggling the way you were before when you were restricting. Are they pretty supportive of your carnivore diet?
It depends. My parents have seen the change. They have seen the change on my body, and they have seen the mental clarity and everything. And because we have been staying in touch for all the recovery process, they accept it and they know that it's a good thing for me. And I explained to them that I'm that scared of the carbs that I will never be able to eat again carbs. Otherwise, I will be back to restrictive disorder. So I think they understand this. But for the person of my family that I'm not that close, like my sister, she's not understanding at all the carnivore diet. She's thinking that carnivore is another eating disorder, and she's thinking that I should eat everything from all the food range, and she doesn't accept that I'm not eating any carbs. But at the same time, she doesn't accept it, but she cannot go without it because I'm 39 years old and I know what I have to do. And I know that is the good stuff for me.
Yeah. Yeah, you always have to do what's best for you. In coming to this way of eating, that really comes to the forefront, that you have to do what's best for you, regardless of what the rest of the world thinks. Because the rest of the world wants you to eat fake meat and be vegan, right? But
Exactly.
but this is what's healing us. So you're the host of Beyond the Scale True Healing. Can you talk about how that came about and what your mission is for the show?
Okay, so a lot of people in the carnivore community or around the keto diet and everything are going there for weight loss. It's a very big topic, a very big point. And I think weight loss on carnivore is the cherry on the cake, or what I would say in carnivore way, the butter on the burger patty. So yeah, weight loss is an additional benefit. But for most of us, the benefits of eating a carnivore diet is healing. And even if you don't know that your body needs to heal, when you start eating carnivore and you start healing and you start feeling as good as we are feeling now, you know that you had a lot of healing to go. So my channel is all about healing and not about weight loss. As there is nothing forbidden. I can speak about everything. There is no taboo. So I can speak as well about weight loss, but there is also weight gain, weight optimization, and mostly healing psoriasis, eating mental health, healing a lot, high blood pressure, a lot of diseases that are around and that carnivore can help with.
Yeah. Yes, I had the pleasure of being on your show and telling my story. And yeah, I agree. I feel like with any diet, people are drawn to it. A lot of people are drawn to it because they're thinking, oh, I'm going to lose the weight. I'm going to be skinny. And that was me too. That was always in the forefront of my mind. I want to lose weight, but I had all of these things I needed to heal. And when I healed those things and those things were healing, the weight didn't matter anymore. I realized that has nothing to do with my health. It doesn't matter, the number on the scale. I'm doing so much better than I was, even 30 pounds lighter than I am now,
And when a number is a goal, when you reach this number, so you have two possibilities. Once you're really happy with it, and so you quit the diet, and then you gain back the weight. And secondly, you realize that the number is not bringing you happiness, and so you are still in the number process, and you say, oh, maybe I'm not that happy because I only lost 30 pounds, but if I lose 40, I will feel happier. And then it's like a process, and you will never go out of this.
Yeah, it's
And
never enough.
It's never enough. And when you have something else in mind, when you have this happiness to reach, this wellness, then it's totally another thing. And so you can stick to the diet, you can be consistent because you're already striving on it. It's not really a diet, it's a way of life.
Yes. Yeah, I do believe that diet has a really negative connotation when you say diet, because a lot of people's mind does go to weight loss. But yeah, definitely a lifestyle and a way of living that promotes health.
Yeah.
Okay, I have one last question for you, Claire. Where can everyone find you in internet land?
On YouTube, you can just go to Beyond the Scale Through Healing, and you will find all my content. Now I'm going live every single Sunday to answer all the questions and to try to be helpful, because I've been researching and learning about all the benefits of this way of life. And so I'm really hoping to be helpful. It's only the only thing what I want is to help people to strive using this carnivore diet. So yeah, you can join me every Sunday live at noon Easter time, and you can find my content on the channel. And as well, you can reach out to me on Instagram. My name on Instagram is Loli Carney. And so you can just reach out to me, and I will be pleased to help you and give you the main tips to start and to keep going on carnivore.
Wonderful. Thank you again so much for meeting with me today and sharing your carnivore story.
My pleasure.
That's it for today. Until next time, stay meaty, stay strong, and stay inspired. Do you have a carnivore story to tell? Connect with me on Instagram at meat, MEAT, Mrs. MRS Grubs, GRUBS. I would love to interview you, and the world needs to hear your story and how meat heals. Thanks so much for watching and all your support. Bye-bye till next time.